Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Scott Thuman.
And I'm Michelle Marsh. Tonight, 7 News pressing Mayor Bowser about some questions that remain unanswered since the start of the federal takeover.
How is MPD coordinating this operation with federal authorities, and her plan to provide hundreds of additional officers that she says MPD still needs? 7 News' Josh Chapin joining us now. And Josh, you were able to pose these questions to the mayor today. So what did you hear?
Well, Scott, not only did we ask her about how all these agencies, all the extra agents are being coordinated with federal officials and MPD, but as you said, we went back to the mayor to go back to a statement she made on Monday about the need for 500 additional MPD officers. Take a listen.
Josh Chapin from Channel 7. You had said the other day about the need for 500 more officers on the street. What are you doing at this point to sort of set the table for that? And in the interim, you've talked about this a little bit, but can the feds help? You have all these sort of trained law enforcement professionals.
We wanted to clarify why a city she has consistently characterized as having historically low crime numbers would need hundreds of new police officers. She and Chief Pamela Smith both saying their goal is to drive down crime with the additional help and tap into the extra resources available to them. Here's the rest of that answer.
I think that we want to be known as the place where everybody wants to work. There are some policy concerns among our current officers about the policing environment in the city. And we know that's going to require some changes to the law.
Mayor Bowser said she'll continue to have conversations with council and the MPD about the changes to the law. She didn't specify what those were, but the D.C. Police Union has suggested D.C. laws that are soft on prosecuting suspects under 25 are a major issue. The mayor and the chief, Scott and Michelle, insisting they are working closely with federal officers. They're working on the deployment every day and how these federal resources are being used. The mayor also forcefully emphasized at one point during this news conference, quote, "There is no takeover." Coming up at 6, I'll have much more on what she said and what the chief had to say in this most detailed news conference that we have seen since the beginning of this operation last week. Again, when we see you with that at 6 o'clock. Scott and Michelle, back to you.
Josh Chapin getting some answers for us tonight. Thank you, Josh. And during today's news conference, questions were also raised about the Justice Department launching an investigation into whether D.C. crime stats have been manipulated. As we've been reporting for months now, numbers show crime is down, but President Trump took to Truth Social this week to accuse city leaders of giving fake numbers to create a false illusion of safety. And last week, 7 News told you about a lawsuit that was just settled by a former MPD sergeant who claimed that crimes were routinely misclassified on purpose. Both Chief Smith and the mayor say they will fully cooperate and answer any questions that DOJ has.
I have not been contacted, but I am aware that there may be or will be subpoenas issued. I don't know to whom. But that's all I know at this point. We know that crime has gone down in our city, and it has gone down precipitously over the last 2 years because of a lot of hard work, changes to our public safety ecosystem, including changes to the law. And we know that those facts don't comport to what some people are saying.
All right, you can see my full story about the former employee's lawsuit in this case on our website, WJLA.com, and on the 7 News YouTube page.
And we do know right now there are hundreds of arrests happening across the district. Our Washington, D.C. reporter Felicia Ashley joining us live now from Northeast D.C. And Felicia, a lot of these videos surfacing on social media, our viewers likely have seen them. What do we know about the people who are being arrested, and what are they accused of?
All right, well, I reached out to the U.S. Marshals about this and for the breakdown of these arrests, and they laid it out like this. They said every single arrest that happens in the district under this operation, under this current takeover, is listed under those numbers that the White House shares with us. So it doesn't matter who makes the arrest or what the arrest is for. So what I did now today is I looked through each arrest to see if these arrests are making an impact in crime on our streets. Here's the math. The White House reported this morning that since August 7th, there have been 550 total arrests in the district. Marshals tell me 225 of those people are undocumented. 3 are allegedly gang members. Ward 8 Councilman Trayon White spent some time in the courthouse this week with some of those arrested.
I went down to sit in one of the court hearings on Monday, and it was almost 150 people that had been arrested this weekend, mostly east of Anacostia River.
Information from the White House backs that up. They tell 7 News half of the arrests that didn't include immigration violations were from Ward 7 and 8. Councilman White tells 7 News he's concerned about the type of crimes that people are being arrested for, but agrees that more law enforcement is needed to prevent violent crimes in the area.
What we want to do is help prevent crime, be proactive, and we need additional resources. Police in itself is not the end-all solution to addressing crime in Washington, D.C. We need wraparound services, mental health services, substance abuse, jobs, all those things to help people become whole individuals.
What I also learned today, out of the total amount of arrests, more than 100 of those are currently listed as others. So right now we're pushing to find out more details about those arrests. But what we also learned today, the U.S. Marshals now offering a $500 bounty to details that now lead to an arrest. And those are all arrests, part of the now growing 500 total arrests here in the district. Now reporting live from Northeast D.C., Felicia Ashley, 7 News.
Free D.C. chants could be heard during a visit by Vice President J.D. Vance and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to Union Station today. They bought lunch from Shake Shack to thank some of the Guard members who have been deployed around the city. Now, not everyone was happy to see them. Vice President Vance making note of the protesters who were shouting in the background while touting safety improvements.
I think you hear these guys outside here screaming at us. Of course, these are a bunch of crazy protesters. But I'll tell you, a couple of years ago when I brought my kids here, they were being screamed at by violent vagrants, and it was scaring the hell out of my kids.
Well, so far, 6 states have deployed National Guard troops to D.C. The ones with him right there in this video, they were from South Carolina. And we're going to continue to monitor the latest developments on the increased federal security presence in the district and continue to press city and federal officials for answers. You can keep up with all of our coverage on WJLA.com.